And, he tried to be polite to you and he withdrew. And then there's this weird twist. And I see this is what I call the limerent twist, where you start to think, I have to have him. And maybe instead of him rejecting me and just it getting weird because he was too polite to make me leave, but he clearly didn't want you there, then you go, he has avoidant attachment tendencies. Well, I doubt you know that after one weekend with him. I doubt you know that. He might have perfectly good ability to attach.
Oh my God. I love this woman. Thank God someone is finally saying this, that there are a lot of people, not everyone, but there's a contingent of people who are going online. They are saying that they're dating an avoidant person. Honestly, I see a lot of them spreading misinformation about avoidant attachment. And oftentimes, a lot of these people are quite limerent and not realizing that about themselves. I just love this woman so much. If you don't know who she is, even though she has a massive channel, so I'm confident you do, but this channel is called Crappy Childhood Fairy. It helps people heal their CPTSD. There's great programs on this channel's official website for people who are interested in that. And the creator of this channel, her name is Anna. And she's so good at giving tough love in this very compassionate, very empathetic, very let's heal together way. And I want to react to this part of her video where she's coined this brilliant term called the limerent twist, especially because this is something that I see all the time with people writing comments on my channel, other people's channels. I get a lot of people who message me on Instagram about their situation, wanting someone with avoidant patterns like myself to maybe give their feedback about what's going on. And I often will get people who are, I feel so bad saying this to them, but it's so obvious based on the situation that they're describing, because we go deep a lot in my Instagram messages. It's quite obvious that they're acting quite obsessed with someone who just clearly isn't interested in seeing them again, or maybe they dated very briefly and they're just not interested in to continue dating them. Maybe they've been talking to them online for a long time, long ass time. I'm talking 8 months, maybe a year. And the other person is just not agreeing to meet them in real life. And I'm just I feel so bad. How do I tell them that I think they're just limerent? And so, it just always amazes me how well Anna is, how well she does at kind of delivering this home truth. So basically what she does a lot on her channel, and she's doing it in this video, is someone will write her a letter, and she will read the letter on the channel, and she will respond to kind of give her advice and feedback and other tips to get them to help them really working on healing their attachment wounds, their CPTSD. So just to summarize this letter before I get into the reaction of this part where she's talking about limerent twist. This girl wrote in about how she dated this guy. It didn't last longer than a month. He was straight up upfront with her that he wasn't looking for a serious relationship. He only wanted something casual. They did end up hanging out for a whole weekend. They were sexually intimate, and things just didn't build on from there. And of course, as we do when we have insecure attachment, we're hoping that things will build on, even though the person said they weren't looking for something serious. And when they don't, it triggers our attachment wounds. And that's essentially what this letter is about. And I'll leave a link to it, of course, in the description so you can check out the whole video in case for some reason you haven't discovered Anna's channel yet. So before I jump into the reaction, if you're new here, my name is Wando. This channel is called Confessions of an Avoidant because I love talking about insecure attachment. And as someone who has avoidant patterns, I love talking about avoidant attachment. All right, so let's get into this.
So yeah, he did show signs of liking you. He didn't know you yet. You were masquerading as somebody who was totally fine with casual. So, it sounded good to him. And, he tried to be polite to you and he withdrew. And then there's this weird twist. And I see this is what I call the limerent twist, where you start to think, I have to have him. And maybe instead of him rejecting me and just it getting weird because he was too polite to make me leave, but he clearly didn't want you there, then you go, he has avoidant attachment tendencies. Well, I doubt you know that after one weekend with him. I doubt you know that. I think he doesn't want a relationship with anybody or possibly just you. And I want you to just let that in. He might have perfectly good ability to attach.
Oh, I love that. I love how she ends that there with he might have perfectly good ability to attach. But yeah, I just see this so often. People saying that they are with an avoidant person or they really, really believe that. I know they're often coming from a good place. Most of them. I mean, if you look at my comment section, I don't know about that actually. But yeah, I like to believe that people are just coming from a good place of trying to understand someone else. But I see often that these people who are behaving quite limerent towards someone who just doesn't want to be with them, I can often tell, as can Anna in this situation, that it's just an easier pill to swallow to say, oh, it's not that this guy doesn't like me back. I think he's just avoidant. He must be pulling away. And again, a lot of people have their own attachment wounds that's kind of blinding them in these situations. That's made them have this kind of magical thinking. And honestly, I find it quite frustrating sometimes when it is one of these situations where they're clearly just not interested in dating someone that they've known for a very short amount of time. But someone who's quite limerent is kind of going online, like complaining about, oh, all avoidant people, they're like this, they're all assholes, they're all narcissists, this person ghosted me or whatever. And they're just spreading misinformation, lots of misinformation about avoidant attachment. And they're just not seeing that they're just very limerent and sometimes truly obsessed with someone that's just not really in their lives, that just truly hasn't reciprocated back to them that level of interest that they have. I see this a lot as well with the results of the Are You Dating an Avoidant quiz that I have linked in the description. Check that out if you're curious. But I found it interesting that from the results of the quiz that only about half of the people who take the quiz are answering questions that are consistent with patterns of avoidant attachment where they get that result that they are dating an avoidant person. And I'm not to say that quiz is like, a scientific research study. It was made with consultation of a professional attachment specialist. But I just find it interesting because it makes me wonder, like, how many of these people that are leaving me the most evil comments in the world about how avoidant people are the worst, how many of those people are just limerent people that are just completely misreading their situation and then going online spreading a lot of animosity when it's just not really necessary. So I just really, really appreciate that she's coined this term. I also love that Anna points out that this guy was just trying to be polite with her in numerous dynamics that they were in. For example, and again, you must watch the whole video, but there's a point where she writes about how she drove 3 hours to show up at his house unannounced and essentially invited herself along on his weekend with his friends. So yeah, he was in some of these situations with her, just trying to be nice. And oftentimes when you're in a situation where you can tell someone that you haven't known very long and you don't know them very well, but you can tell that they just like you so much more than you like them, it's just so awkward for that individual. And a lot of people's default response in those situations is just to be like awkwardly nice. It's hard to say to someone like, oh, can you like go home? They're going to be kind of nice and kind of beat around the bush because they don't want to hurt your feelings. And I love that she points this out because another thing that I often see with people that have been rejected online and they're acting quite limerent, not everybody, but I see this a lot, which is they'll say things like, oh my God, this person, they're an avoidant asshole. Like they said that they don't want to see me anymore, or they're acting like someone who doesn't want to hang out with me. They're not making plans with me, but they keep being nice to me. And it's like they're perceiving it as this bad thing that someone's nice to them, or they're, again, I want to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. I think a lot of people are just confused. They're like, why is someone being nice to me if they don't want to meet up with me, if they're not matching my interest in making plans again. Pretty much no one in the world has received enough training in life for how to deal with a very, very awkward situation of when someone really likes you and they keep wanting to be around you. And you just feel so awkward and you feel so bad. And I think we've all been in this situation. I think we can all, whatever your attachment style is, think of a situation when you've had to deal with this awkward dynamic where someone is just trying to pursue you. And in your opinion, it's obvious that you don't like them. And for a lot of people, they have this like freeze response of like, I don't know what to do. I guess I'm just going to be nice, but also like, hopefully they'll take a hint. So I just love how she points that out. She's just the best.
And you say he was holding back for his own safety and security, also because it's not what he wanted, also because in his knowledge of himself, it's not what he wanted. We want everybody to be able to know what they want and to seek it out and to behave consistently with what they want. So he's doing it. Now you get to do it for yourself, and your template is different.
I have to say, I noticed that people who tend to utter this sentence the most, like, I think he's just holding back because he's scared and he's trying to stay safe. They're kind of revealing in that statement, like, this is what they hope is happening. As opposed to people who write in comments and people who write to me who are truly dating an avoidant person and they're in like a months long actual relationship. But when they talk about dating an avoidant person, they'll describe tangible relationship struggles that every relationship tends to go through, but with that extra avoidant frustration that's happening on top of that as an extra variable to the relationships. So for example, they might be frustrated like, oh, I've been dating this person for 6 months. We're in a committed relationship. I've hung out with some of their friends. We've even gone on vacation together, but it's so weird because I feel like they aren't spending a little bit more time with me. I actually feel like they're holding back spending more time with me despite us getting deeper and deeper in our relationship. Whereas I do notice with a lot of limerent people, they'll have a vague statement of, oh, I feel like they're pulling back because they're scared. And it just seems like they went on some website with a blog post of like 9 signs that you're dating an avoidant. Sign number 3, they pull away. That's because they're scared. It's not like they have like more tangible proof that they've observed over time. With a lot of people who are limerent, something I notice is I think they think it's that literal. Like they are just scared because they just like you so much. Like I think that's what people think this fear that avoidant people have looks like. Most of the time, though, when people's avoidant coping mechanisms start to pop up, it's when they're deeper into a relationship. It's when there's more commitment involved. It's when there's more accountability involved. It's when there's more kind of compromising, reaching the power struggle phase of a relationship that's really going to make those subconscious coping mechanisms pop up, when there's stronger commitment, when there's feelings of love and just a real relationship.
And time together. And then you said, I wonder if he was just breadcrumbing you. I don't think he was. He had a weekend with you. He had a casual fling with you, which is what he said. So maybe you were breadcrumbing yourself by saying yes to it.
I love
and
that.
then thinking you could change yourself to make that work. It's okay. I'm famous for, I'm very direct with people. I'm like, no, I think you breadcrumbed yourself. I think you abandoned yourself. I think you crap fitted. You tried to make yourself into somebody who he would date.
Yeah, I totally agree with Anna here. Someone's not breadcrumbing you if they hooked up with you on the weekend and it was quite casual and, that's what they said that they wanted. And their behavior and their words are matching. They're being very consistent. And I think sometimes it helps us when we can just like admit that to ourselves, be like, do I even like this guy this much? Like, it was just a hookup. It wasn't that deep, but I think sometimes our attachment wounds, like Anna's saying, they can trick us into having, when we've had sex with someone, then that triggers our feeling of like, oh my God, are they going to reject me? Oh my God, are they going to like not want to hang out with me anymore? And then we almost like lie to ourselves that we like this person more than we do. And we use these terms like breadcrumbing and avoidant to kind of justify accepting that someone is just not showing any sign of liking you back. So yeah, it can be a bitter pill to swallow, and it's an easier pill to swallow by believing that the person is avoidant. I just want to react to one more part of this video.
The last day I saw him, I had driven 3 hours to see him. He didn't really invite me. I invited myself. Oh, and he didn't say I should go. Okay. When we saw each other, he was not affectionate. He didn't kiss me or try to sit near me. He was friendly enough and was trying to include me in his activities. But I felt like a puppy dog following him around all day.
So here I want to react to this because I really want to give the person who wrote this letter credit. I really love how she doesn't write out the parts of the story where she can point to her own very, very anxiously attached, very, very, limerent behaviors of doing something like driving 3 hours to this guy's place when he didn't even invite you or expect you. Credit to her for including that in the story and not hiding from it, and not just writing a letter about how she thinks she's dating an avoidant person and they spent one amazing weekend together, and kind of glossing over the details where she doesn't look great. And I wish more people would do this. I see a lot, particularly with people who are more limerent, who are very, very, very anxious. I'm not saying all anxious people are like this, but I'm saying I think people who are like extremely anxious, and to the point where it's like they're oblivious to their own behaviors. They'll write a story, share a comment with an avoidant, and it's just all about the person that they're saying is avoidant, that they're believing is an avoidant person. Or something else that I see a lot is someone will message me on Instagram wanting feedback about a situation, and they'll write a summary of it, but they won't include anything about themselves or anything about their own attachment style or the part they played in anything. So they'll just write something like, oh, this person just stopped talking to me out of nowhere. But they'll like conveniently leave out the part where they like texted them 90 times in one day when they had only been on like 4 dates or something, So I just love how she's aware enough to know she did some things that would annoy someone or push them away or wouldn't be attracted to or someone wouldn't find attractive and things like that. And this is a huge reason why I just love Crappy Childhood Fairies channel. I just love her community. It's just full of people who are really focused inward and really want to work on themselves, understand themselves better, understand their subconscious patterns better so that they can heal their attachment trauma and their childhood trauma wounds that are making it so that they're having these CPTSD issues later in their life as adults. So I just love her so much. I love this concept of the limerent twist. I hope it becomes a famous term. You know how like gaslighting is just this famous term to the point where like everybody uses it for everything now? I want the limerent twist to become that popular. Come on. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this video. Yeah, let me know what you think about certain aspects of the video. Be sure to watch the whole video. Again, it's linked in the description. Feel free to take my Are You Dating an Avoidant quiz, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.